All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another video on Wildcard Sports. In today's video, we are going to go over the projected MLB champion. Based on one stat, we got a lot of other stats we could look at for the MLB blueprint for a MLB champion. I've made past videos for other sports like NBA and NHL predicting the champions in that sport, and we'll see how that goes there because the playoffs are still happening for the NBA and the NHL. But we want to get in early here for MLB. I've made a full video on Patreon going over every single stat that makes a MLB champion, and we could narrow it down to 5 teams that really have a legitimate shot at winning it. In today's video that's here on YouTube, I'm going to look over one stat that is very key on past champs. So if we look at the past champs here, we're going to be looking at isolated power. So pretty much what isolated power means, there's a long definition, but pretty much it's the measure of a hitter's raw power, and it tells you how often a player hits for extra bases. That's pretty much what it is. So the more extra bases you get, the more home runs you get for your team, the average, it will go up. So right now, if you look, this season, the Orioles have a very high isolated power. They are on fire. They're hitting very well. Same with the Dodgers. We all know that. They're hitting very well. The Phillies have been on fire. They have the most wins, but their isolated power is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the best. So I alerted this on Patreon to the members first that I put an early bet on the Baltimore Orioles because when you look at past champs, I'll bring it up again. Look at all the past champs kind of fall where the Orioles are. Sure, we got a lot in that bottom left quadrant. We got the Giants a couple times, Royals, and then we got some falling in here. So if we go back to this year, pretty much all we have in that area is Dodgers and Orioles. And then right here it gets kind of messy. We don't know who it could be. One of these teams, I'm going to make the prediction right now. One of these teams, I know it's a lot. Well, maybe like not even the Cardinals, but like right here that I'm highlighting. One of those teams will make it to the World Series. I'm going to say it now. It could be, Giants, Rangers again. It could be Seattle, Chicago, Royals, San Diego, Cleveland, maybe even Washington making a surprise. A lot of those teams I mentioned would be a complete surprise. But looking at the World Series odds as of today, as I'm filming this, Dodgers are leading it. They've been leading it pretty much all season. Braves, then the Yankees. And then right now, the Orioles are at plus 1,100 odds. And I love that. I got in early on them earlier in the season. I want to do it again. I'll probably put another futures bet on the Orioles. I really like them. I'm alerting you guys now that you're watching this on YouTube that go for the Orioles if you want to, get plus 1,100 on them. This is through FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm not sure how it is on other sports books, but I'm sure it's around the same range. Plus 300 for the Dodgers. I've been seeing that on most sports books. It doesn't really change right there. If you want to get in now at the Dodgers plus 300, it's probably if you think they're going to win it all. And, they look amazing. They always do. But come playoff time, they kind of choke, if you want to call it that, or, they just don't show up when it comes to playoffs. I do like the Braves a lot. They're primed. The full video I made on Patreon goes over the whole MLB blueprint. There are 5 teams that will make the World Series. I'm not going to say all 5 here on YouTube. You got to join the Patreon. Only $5 a month. There's the plug for Patreon. The link will be in the description. But I'm telling you right now, one of those teams that have a very, very solid shot of making it to the World Series and winning the World Series is the Baltimore Orioles at plus 1,100. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see it here. Let's see. Let me show you guys the bet slip, like hypothetical. So if you do plus 1,100, say you just put like $50 on the Orioles to win it, you'll make $550. I'm not going to tell you guys what to bet or that you guys should bet, but if you put a futures bet on the Orioles right now, $50 to win $550. If you want to do 100, you'll win $1,100 on the Orioles. But the thing with baseball, obviously, it's so hard to predict a World Series champion. The Dodgers are always going to be at the top, and the Braves, just because they have such a stacked lineups and they're pretty dominant, they're going to be at the top, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win it. I mean, going into last season, no one had the Texas Rangers at the top of the odds list for winning the World Series. Same with the Arizona Diamondbacks. No one even had them making it to the World Series at all. Their odds were probably like plus 2,000, plus 2,500. I don't even know. Maybe even plus 3,000 during the season. So you just never know. I feel like baseball is the hardest one to predict out of all the sports for predicting a champion. But I'm alerting you guys all now, just so you know, Baltimore Orioles, that's my pick to win the World Series. That's my early pick, but I have 4 others that are right there at the top. Some teams, yes, you would expect to be in that top 5, and others you would not necessarily expect. So go over to the Patreon, check that out. I appreciate, and it would support me, support the channel. And I always send you guys early alerts on the Patreon, what you guys should be targeting as far as futures go on in the MLB and every single sport. We've already done NBA and NHL. You could still get in because, you know, we haven't even made it to the finals yet in both sports. So you could still get in over there. But yeah, those are my predictions, and appreciate you watching the video, and check out the Patreon for the full episode. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.